Have you ever seen creatures so colossal, so unbelievable they feel like they've stepped straight out of a sci-fi epic? From the shadowy depths of untamed rivers to the wildest corners of the earth, these real-life giants will shatter everything you thought you knew about the animal kingdom. In this video, you'll come face to face with Lolong, the legendary crocodile whose monstrous size silenced entire villages and stunned scientists around the world. But that's just the beginning. We're diving deep to reveal a crayfish so bizarrely massive it looks like it was built in a lab on another planet. But it's 100% real, and thriving beneath the surface where few dare to look. And there's so much more. Towering animals that dwarf everything around them. Record-breaking giants that redefine what's possible. Caught-on-camera moments so jaw-dropping, you'd swear they were CGI, until the footage proves otherwise. These creatures aren't myths, they're not special effects. They are living proof that nature is more thrilling, more surreal, and more awe-inspiring than fiction ever could be. So strap in, because what you're about to see, you'd never believe, if it weren't caught on camera. Let's begin. Big Jake, the giant who made history horses, have always captivated the human spirit, symbols of speed, strength, and nobility. But once in a generation, a creature comes along who doesn't just live up to those ideals. He redefines them. That was Big Jake. In 2012, the world stood still as Big Jake was crowned the tallest horse on the planet, officially measuring an astonishing 6 feet 10 inches at the withers and tipping the scales at over 2,500 pounds. One glance at him, and you knew you weren't just looking at a horse. You were witnessing a living legend. And here's what made him even more extraordinary. He wasn't a Shire, the breed famous for towering heights. No. Big Jake was a Belgian draft horse, a breed built for power, not skyscraping size. But even among these heavyweights, Jake stood in a league of his own. From the very beginning, Jake's story was one of marvel. Born at a staggering 200 pounds, almost twice the size of a typical foal, he was a sign of something remarkable. As he grew, so did the awe. Inch by inch, pound by pound, Big Jake shattered expectations, becoming more than just a giant. He became a symbol of strength, grace, and gentle power. His size was matched only by his appetite. 2 full buckets of grain and a bale of hay every single day. But ask anyone who cared for him, and they'd tell you, every bite was worth it. Because beneath that towering frame was a gentle soul, calm, kind, and deeply loved by all who met him. Big Jake wasn't just a record breaker. He was a reminder that greatness can be gentle, and that real legends walk among us, not in fairy tales, but in fields, barns, and the hearts of those who believe. In July 2021, the world said goodbye to Big Jake at the age of 20. But his legacy lives on. Because giants like Jake don't disappear, they echo through history, inspiring wonder for generations to come. And if you thought Big Jake was awe-inspiring, just wait until you meet our next unbelievable giant, the Goliath Beetle. Leatherback sea turtle, the ancient titan of the deep beneath the rolling waves of the world's oceans, glides a creature so vast, so ancient, it feels more like a myth than a living being. But make no mistake, this is no legend. This is the leatherback sea turtle, the largest and most enduring of all sea turtles, and one of nature's greatest survivors. Growing up to 7 feet long and weighing over 2,000 pounds, the leatherback is more than just big. It's a relic of a forgotten age. This extraordinary voyager has roamed our oceans for over 100 million years, long before the first human ever drew breath. It outlived the dinosaurs, survived the ice ages, and weathered the violent shifts of a changing planet. But what truly makes the leatherback remarkable isn't just its size or age, it's its unstoppable will to endure. Leatherbacks are nature's marathoners. They cross entire oceans in search of food and nesting grounds, undertaking some of the longest migrations in the animal kingdom. From Indonesia to California, from Canada to South America, some have even been tracked from Norway to New Zealand. 10,000 miles or more in a single journey, through tropical heat and frigid Arctic currents. No other reptile on Earth travels so far. No other carries such ancient determination in every stroke. Their secret? A body unlike any other turtle. Instead of a hard shell, the leatherback sports a flexible, leathery back, allowing it to dive deeper than any turtle alive, over 4,000 feet down into crushing darkness. It reaches depths that submersibles fear and humans barely understand. But now this timeless traveler faces an enemy it may not survive: us. Plastic pollution, climate change, and industrial fishing are pushing the leatherback to the edge. Many die choking on plastic bags, mistaking them for jellyfish, their favorite food. Coastal development tears up ancient nesting beaches where generations have returned to lay their eggs. Their numbers are falling fast, and time is running out, and yet, the leatherback keeps swimming. It endures. Every powerful stroke through the water is a statement: I am still here. The leatherback is more than just a sea turtle. It's a symbol of survival. A living time capsule from Earth's prehistoric past. And a haunting question: will we protect it, or let it vanish forever? Because the next time one rises from the depths to breathe, it might be for the last time. But don't take your eyes off the horizon yet. Because just when you think you've seen nature's giants at their peak, the next creature makes them all seem small. Up next, the colossal beast that redefined what it means to be big. Get ready to meet the whale that broke every rule. Goliath Beetle, the real-life giant of the rainforest deep within the emerald heart of Central and Western Africa's rainforests. A creature stirs that seems more fiction than fact. A colossal insect that could be mistaken for something out of a sci-fi epic. But this is no alien. This is the Goliath Beetle, the undisputed heavyweight champion of the insect world. These beetles live up to their name, stretching up to 6 inches long and weighing as much as 3.5 ounces. They can be heavier than some rodents. Imagine a beetle the size of your hand with the bulk of a hamster scuttling across a tree branch. Sounds impossible, right? But it's real, it's living, and it's incredible. Despite their monstrous appearance, Goliath beetles are surprisingly gentle. They feed on nothing more than fruit and tree sap, slicing through tough plant matter with their powerful jaws. But when challenged, especially by another male, the Goliath becomes a gladiator. With enormous Y-shaped horns jutting from their heads, male beetles engage in dramatic battles, pushing, flipping, and grappling in intense wrestling matches to win territory, food, and mates. In these clashes of titans, raw strength wins, and the Goliath doesn't disappoint. How strong are they? A Goliath beetle can lift up to 840 times its own weight. That's the equivalent of a human hoisting 7 full-sized cars. Their power borders on the superhuman. But even titans have their enemies. Exotic pet collectors have begun to prize these beetles, driving up demand and putting them at risk through illegal trade. Worse still, deforestation is rapidly shrinking their habitat, carving away the rainforest they depend on to survive. Yet despite the odds, nature continues to fight back. Female Goliath beetles, smaller but equally vital, lay up to 100 eggs, giving rise to a new generation. These larvae, growing up to 4 inches long, spend months underground, feeding and transforming. Their journey from soil to sky is one of survival, resilience, and transformation. Their entire life cycle spans nearly 2 years, a quiet but epic saga hidden beneath the forest floor. The Goliath beetle is more than just an insect. It's a symbol of power, of adaptation, and of the wonders still thriving in the wild. A living monument to the raw, untamed force of evolution. But the story of Earth's giants doesn't end here, because next, we leave the treetops and plunge into the depths of the ocean, where an ancient titan, part relic, part juggernaut, glides through the waves like a living submarine. Meet the leatherback sea turtle, nature's armored mariner. Big Daddy, the legendary giant of the deep in, the shadowy blue glow of an aquarium tank. One creature stood so massive, so utterly surreal, that visitors often questioned if what they were seeing was even real. It wasn't a monster. It wasn't a myth. It was Big Daddy. A Japanese spider crab of otherworldly proportions. Big Daddy wasn't just big. He shattered records and reshaped our idea of what's possible in the ocean's mysterious depths. With legs stretching an incredible 10 feet from claw to claw, and a single limb nearly 5 feet long, Big Daddy became the widest crustacean ever kept in captivity, and the crab with the longest leg ever recorded. He was a living relic, a strange and beautiful echo from the deepest corners of Earth's oceans. And yet, his story almost ended before it began. Originally plucked from the deep seas off Honshu Island, Japan, Big Daddy's fate was sealed. He was headed straight for a dinner plate in a local seafood market, but in a single, life-altering twist of fate, a representative from Sea Life Blackpool stepped in. They didn't see food, they saw a miracle. And just like that, the story of Big Daddy changed forever. In 2013, he began a new chapter, not beneath crushing depths, but inside a specially designed cold water tank in the UK. And it wasn't just about putting him on display. It was about respect. It was about wonder. Staff hand-fed him, carefully scrubbed his sprawling shell to remove harmful parasites, and gave him something few ocean giants ever receive: compassion. For years, Big Daddy became a beacon, a symbol of Earth's hidden magic, a reminder that some of nature's greatest marvels dwell in darkness, unseen and too often forgotten. Children stood in awe. Scientists studied in silence. Thousands left changed. And then, in 2016, at an estimated age of 80, Big Daddy quietly passed away. He moved more slowly in his final days, not just from age, but perhaps from the sheer weight of a life that defied every odd. He had survived the trenches of the Pacific. He had escaped the knife. He had been saved, celebrated, and loved. Indy. The wild Japanese spider crabs endure harsh, freezing abyssal zones. Food is scarce. Predators are many. And yet they persist, scraping algae, scavenging shells, and cleaning the ocean floor with armored limbs forged by time. But for a moment, one of them stepped out of the cold dark and into the spotlight. Big Daddy was more than a crustacean. He was a second chance. A gentle giant from the deep whose story whispered a truth we too often forget. Wonders still exist if we choose to see them. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we get the chance to protect them. And just when you think the ocean has given up its greatest secret, another titan emerges, bigger, bolder, fur-covered, feline. Coming up next, meet Hercules, the largest big cat ever to walk the earth. Giant Manta Ray, gentle titans of the deep, in the vast silent world beneath the waves. Not everything that's powerful hunts. Some glide, some mesmerize. And none do it quite like the giant Manta Ray, a creature so graceful, so enormous. It feels more like myth than marine life. With wingspans reaching an astonishing 29 feet, these oceanic giants are not only the largest rays on Earth, they're among the largest fish alive today. Watching one float by is like witnessing a living spaceship cruise through the sea, elegant, effortless, and utterly unforgettable. And just when scientists thought they had them figured out, the manta ray delivered a surprise. There isn't just one species, there are two. The reef manta, who sticks close to coral coasts, and the giant oceanic manta, a wandering titan that sails across entire oceans. Different homes, different habits, same breathtaking wonder. But here's where it gets even more incredible. Despite their enormous size, giant mantas feed on microscopic plankton. They swim with their mouths wide open, gliding through plankton-rich waters using their unique cephalic fins, those odd little flaps near their heads, to funnel millions of tiny creatures into their mouths. It's a ballet of biology, choreographed by millions of years of evolution. They've been spotted from tropical lagoons to temperate coastlines, swimming alone, or if you're unbelievably lucky, gathering in great swirling groups that feel almost otherworldly. For divers, it's not just a sight, it's a spiritual moment. But behind that beauty lies a chilling truth. Giant manta rays reproduce at a painfully slow rate. Unlike most fish, which lay hundreds or thousands of eggs, a female manta gives birth to just one pup, and only every 2 to 3 years. That means one tangled net, One destroyed feeding ground, one illegal catch can erase entire generations, and right now, they're vanishing. Targeted for their gill plates, prized in some traditional medicines, these gentle giants are being captured faster than they can replenish. Climate change, plastic pollution, habitat destruction, each one stacks the odds against them. They may live up to 40 years, but far too many aren't making it past adolescence. But this doesn't have to be the end of their story. This can be the turning point, because you're watching, you're learning, and you can act. By supporting marine conservation, rejecting products that exploit ocean wildlife, and raising awareness, we can protect these titans of tranquility. Not as fading legends, but as living icons of balance, beauty, and resilience. In a world that rushes forward at breakneck speed, the Manta Ray reminds us of something rare: grace, purpose, presence. So take a breath. And the next time you look out over the ocean, remember, there's a gentle giant gliding just beneath the surface waiting for us to care. And speaking of ocean legends, up next, a subscriber pick and one of nature's most jaw-dropping forces. You've seen size, you've seen speed, but you haven't seen anything like what's coming next. Stay with us, Power of the Wild continues. Hercules, the largest cat on Earth. They say nature doesn't break the rules, it rewrites them. And if you need proof, look no further than Hercules. Not just another big cat, not just rare. He is the largest living big cat on the planet. Towering, rippling with muscle and built like a beast from legend, Hercules isn't just seen, he's felt. Born from the union of a male lion and a female tiger, Hercules is a liger, a hybrid so rare, so unusual, that most people don't even believe. It's real until they see him. But he is very real, and he's jaw-dropping. Standing 1.25 meters tall at the shoulder, stretching over 3.3 meters in length, and weighing a colossal 418 kilograms, Hercules is the size of a small car, but alive, alert, and breathtakingly majestic. And yes, he eats like a machine, consuming over 13 kilograms of meat per day plus liters of water just to keep that massive body moving. But Hercules is more than bulk and brawn. He's a living fusion of two apex predators, a creature that should not exist yet does. From his tiger lineage, he inherited a love of water, gliding through pools with an elegance that defies his size. From lions, he gained his social streak, playful, engaged, and deeply bonded with his caretakers. And then there's the most astonishing trait of all. Ligers grow far larger than either parent species. Why? Scientists believe their hybrid DNA disrupts the normal limits of growth, as if nature forgot to hit the brakes. The result is a gentle titan, one that defies biology, stuns the eye, and melts the heart. But Hercules' story isn't just one of wonder. It's also a wake-up call. While he thrives at the Myrtle Beach Safari in South Carolina, cared for with love and respect, many ligers are not so lucky. Too often, hybrids like him are bred not for preservation, but for profit. Displayed as curiosities, denied proper care, and suffering from severe health issues like arthritis, organ failure, and neurological damage. Male ligers are always sterile. Females, though fertile, raise unsettling questions about the future of hybrid breeding and animal ethics. That's why Hercules matters. Not just because he's enormous, but because he forces us to ask deeper questions. Where do we draw the line between marvel and manipulation? Between celebration and exploitation? Hercules isn't a mistake. He's a miracle of science, biology, and compassion. A majestic reminder that with power comes responsibility. That what we create, we must also protect. He stands today as a symbol of awe, of possibility, and of the fragile line between human curiosity and ethical care. But Hercules is only one chapter in this saga of Earth's true giants. Because next, we're plunging back into the ocean, where a creature unlike any you've seen awaits. It doesn't roar. It doesn't stalk prey. It glides silently through the sea, an underwater phantom of unimaginable size and grace. Don't blink. What's coming next may just take your breath away. Power of the wild, nature unleashed. Just when you think you've seen it all, nature strikes again with something so raw, so electrifying, it grabs you by the gut and doesn't let go. Today's subscriber pick isn't just a moment. It's a visceral punch of primal survival. Captured deep in the untamed wild, this image shows a massive crocodile exploding from the water, jaws like steel traps clamped around its prey. There's no warning. No roar. Just one unstoppable burst of pure, ancient instinct. Everything in the scene is alive with tension. The rippling muscles, the spray of water, the frozen struggle between hunter and hunted. This isn't staged. It isn't dramatized. This is real life, real death. In the animal kingdom, there are no do-overs, no mercy, no second chances, just the relentless, unforgiving law of the wild. Kill or be killed. You've heard crocodiles have one of the strongest bite forces on Earth. Now you see it. This isn't textbook science. This is nature's uncensored truth, caught in a heartbeat. Now we want to hear from you. What do you think this crocodile caught? And be honest, would you dare get this close to a predator like this? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're featuring the most daring, insightful, or downright wild responses in upcoming episodes. But don't go anywhere, because what's coming next might just shatter everything you thought you knew about freshwater creatures. We're diving into a hidden corner of the planet, a place where rivers quietly hide giants and evolution runs wild. Get ready to meet a beast so unexpected it feels like something out of a science fiction thriller, the Tasmanian giant freshwater crayfish. It's real, it's ancient, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. Stay with us. Power of the Wild is just getting started. Hidden World. The river's secret titan. When you hear the word crayfish, you probably imagine a tiny critter scuttling along a muddy riverbed, barely bigger than your thumb. Maybe even something with a silly name like toe biter. But deep, in the icy, untouched rivers of Tasmania, lurks a giant. Meet the Tasmanian giant freshwater crayfish. A creature so massive, so mysterious, it almost feels like a hoax. But it's not. This isn't just the largest crayfish on Earth. It's the largest freshwater invertebrate ever discovered. We're talking nearly 3 feet long, over 3 kilograms in weight, the size of a small dog wrapped in armor. And if the legends are true, some may reach up to 6 kilograms. That's not a crayfish, that's a river tank. Camouflaged perfectly against the rocky river floor, these silent titans haunt the shadows. They wait. And when the moment is right, they strike. Their claws are strong enough to snap a thick branch, or even shatter a careless human finger. But here's the twist. They're not villains. They're guardians, vital custodians of their ecosystem. These crayfish are nature's cleanup crew, consuming dead leaves, rotting wood, insects, and decaying animals. They don't just live in the river, they protect it. They keep the current clean, the balance intact, and the web of life unbroken. And they are ancient, not just as a species, but as individuals. Some can live for 60 years or more. Imagine a single creature watching over one stretch of river for longer than most people own their homes. But now, the watchers are vanishing. Once heavily hunted, and now legally protected, the Tasmanian giant crayfish is still teetering on the brink. Habitat destruction, from farming, pollution, and deforestation, is suffocating the clear rivers they depend on. Fewer than 100,000 may remain in the wild, and if they disappear, we lose more than a species. We lose a living relic, a creature that's survived ice ages, climate shifts, and natural disasters for millions of years, only to face extinction on our watch. So the next time you stand beside a quiet river, know this. Beneath the surface, a titan might be watching, silent, ancient, one of the last of its kind. But the wild doesn't rest, because not all giants live in water. Some hide in the shadows, deep underground. Up next, We descend into one of the planet's most mysterious cave systems to uncover a creature so strange, so ancient, it feels like something time itself forgot. Brace yourself for the Chinese giant salamander, a true prehistoric predator that will leave you speechless. The ancient ghost beneath the waters, Chinese giant salamander. You think you've seen strange creatures before? Think again. Picture this. You're wading through an icy mountain stream in the stillness of dusk, and something is watching you. Its mottled skin blends with the riverbed. Its motionless eyes seem to hold a secret millions of years old. You freeze, because what you're seeing doesn't belong in this time. It's not a myth, not a fantasy. It's real. Meet the Chinese giant salamander, a creature so ancient, so otherworldly it feels like the earth itself is whispering through it. Unchanged for over 170 million years, this amphibian is a living fossil. And not just any amphibian, the largest on Earth. It slithers through cold rivers like a stone ghost, silent and slow, unless it strikes. In 2015, scientists uncovered something almost unimaginable, a 4.5-foot-long, 104-pound giant in the caves of Chongqing, China. It was estimated to be nearly 200 years old. That's older than the light bulb, older than airplanes, older than entire nations as we know them today. And yet, despite its legacy, this titan is vanishing. In Chinese folklore, it's called why. Sure, the babyfish, why? Because its cry sounds eerily like a human infant weeping. A chilling sound that echoes through the mountains like a call from the past. But maybe that's fitting. Because these creatures have become ghosts of their former world. Once common in China's pristine mountain rivers, the Chinese giant salamander is now critically endangered, its numbers decimated by human greed. Hunted as a delicacy. Slaughtered. For status. Poachers poisoned entire streams to catch just one, killing everything in their path. And even today, illegal hunting continues, even with strict protection laws in place. Worse still, captive breeding programs have flooded the market with genetically diluted salamanders, many of which can't survive in the wild. Their bloodline, millions of years in the making, is being erased by careless farming and short-sighted exploitation. But not all hope is lost. That one ancient salamander in Chongqing was proof, a survivor, proof that the wild still holds secrets, that resilience still flows beneath the stones, that we haven't lost everything. Not yet, but make no mistake, time is running out. Saving the Chinese giant salamander isn't just about rescuing a strange, slippery animal. It's about preserving a living memory of Earth's primeval history. It's about refusing to let the oldest voice in the forest fall silent. Because if we lose this creature, we don't just lose a species. We lose a connection to a world long gone. A whisper of the time before the dinosaurs. And our journey into nature's forgotten titans is far from over. Because next, we meet a creature born in shadow, remembered, in legend, and feared for the cataclysmic power it once unleashed. Coming up, Lolong, the legend of the giant crocodile. This one doesn't just crawl, it rules. Lolong, the giant crocodile, a legend. Born of fear and awe, legends of creatures that shatter the boundaries of size often seem almost mythical. But Lolong was real, towering at an astonishing 6.17 meters. That's over 20 feet long, and weighing more than 1,075 kilograms, over 2,300 pounds. Lolong wasn't just big. He was the largest crocodile ever held in captivity, a living testament to the raw, untamed power of nature. Yet, Lolong's story didn't begin with admiration. It began with fear. In 2011, the quiet rivers of Bunawan, Philippines turned deadly. Livestock disappeared without a trace. Whispers of a monstrous predator spread like wildfire through the community. Locals knew something ancient and terrifying lurked beneath the murky waters. A crocodile unlike any other. Determined to protect their families, the people of Bunawan called upon expert crocodile hunters from Palawan. What followed was nothing short of a real-life epic. For 3 relentless weeks, more than 100 determined people battled this living force of nature. Traps failed. Close calls pushed men to their limits. At one heart-stopping moment, Lolong broke free from reinforced ropes, sending waves of chaos through the hunters. They weren't just trying to capture a crocodile, they were facing a primeval Titan, a beast that had ruled the river for decades. When they finally subdued him, the world was stunned. Lolong's size shattered records and captured imaginations. He was moved to Bunawan Eco Park, where thousands flocked to see the creature that had once haunted their homes. Fear turned to fascination. The town that had trembled before the shadow of a predator now thrived with booming tourism. Lolong was no longer just a crocodile. He was a symbol of survival, a story echoed around the globe. But not all giants are destined for cages. On February 10, 2013, less than 2 years after his capture, Lolong was found dead in his enclosure. The cause? Pneumonia, cardiac arrest, and a fungal infection, all worsened by the crushing stress of captivity. The wild spirit that once ruled the rivers could not endure behind bars. Lolong's death was more than the end of a legend. It was a painful reminder. Even the mightiest are fragile. And human interference, no matter how well-intentioned, can come at a devastating cost. But the wild is far from empty. Out there, giants still roam. Next, meet Gore, the silent titan of the forest, a creature that redefines power in the realm of gentle giants. When you think of mighty herbivores, elephants or rhinos might come to mind. But deep in the misty forests of India and Southeast Asia, another majestic behemoth moves with quiet grace. Stay with us. Gore, the forest's untamed titan hidden. Deep within the world's oldest forest lives a giant almost unknown to many. The Gore, the largest wild bovine on Earth. Towering nearly 3.3 meters, that's over 10 feet tall at the shoulder, and tipping the scales at a staggering 1,600 kilograms. The Gore is not just big, it's a living fortress of muscle and might. With its massive, curved horns and colossal frame, the Gore moves through the forest like a prehistoric tank. Calm, unstoppable, and powerful beyond belief, these gentle giants usually graze quietly in the shadows, serene rulers of their domain. But push them too far, and the forest falls deadly silent. Predators know better than to challenge these titans. Tigers, leopards, even packs of wild dogs have tried and failed. In one incredible encounter, a lone bulgar faced off against a fierce tiger. The fight was brief but brutal. The Gore didn't just defend itself, it crushed the tiger, snapping its body in two. Yet despite their immense strength and resilience, Gores are under siege. Habitat destruction, deforestation, and relentless poaching are pushing these forest giants closer to the brink. As human expansion eats away at their home, even the mightiest creatures can vanish. The Gore may not command the fame of elephants or lions, but its magnificence is undeniable. And its survival hinges on one choice. Will we look beyond celebrity and fight to protect the forgotten giants of the wild? Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into nature's living titans, from legendary crocodiles to the unstoppable forest juggernauts. One truth remains: size may grant power, but survival depends on us. Stay curious. Stay wild. Because somewhere out there, the wild's greatest giants still roam, and their future is in our hands.